I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Cullum, Greg Claudio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond, as we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom.
Hey, today we're in one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's actually a ranger cabin behind us, but we're going to show you the scenery. Trust me, there's a lot better looking things than that here. We're in Rocky Mountain National Park up in north central Colorado. And as interesting as where we are is how we got here, and we'll tell you about that in a minute. But first I want to introduce our guests. These two are kind of becoming regulars on the show. Kirk and Laurie from Kirk's Fly Shop, and I don't know how many shows we've done together, but they're going to start putting your name in the credits on a regular basis. Great to fish with you again. Laurie.
Thanks, Terry.
And Laurie, of course, not too long ago was a guest on our radio show where we did a women's series on women in the outdoors, and you both guide. You run Kirk's Fly Shop together. Is she really the boss, or are you really the boss?
She is.
That's right. No, you know, great people. You've seen them on the show, and just incredibly good fly fishing anglers, and you're going to see some of that today on the show. But the fourth person we have down here, Justin, he's how we got up here. He's the wrangler. We did about a 7 or 8 mile horseback ride up here. And we did that because if you've seen us fish with Kirk before, he does a number of different types of trips. You do walk wade trips, and we've done those year round. We've done them winter and summer. And he does pack trips where you walk in, pack trips where you use llamas to carry the gear. The only thing I like better about the horses than the llamas carried the gear, the horses carried me. I like that better. And what's really great about this trip is we're over 10,000 feet in elevation and about a 7 or 8 mile hike up here. So if somebody would have, a lot of people wouldn't be able to walk up here. And the horses would just make that available to a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't be able to do it. And you do this is a long trip. Normally you do this one overnight, but you do shorter horseback day trips too, right?
We do, yes. And 3 mile hikes or 3 mile rides in.
So it can be a day trip, an overnight trip, whatever. Tell you what, we're going to take you back down to the trailhead, and you can follow us as we ride up here. And when you get back, we're going to be on the water. When we get done with that ride, we'll be on the water fishing. Well, I'll tell you what, Kurt, the ride up here was spectacular and fun and an incredible time, but it's no more spectacular than the view. This is the epitome of a high mountain lake, isn't it?
It's a neat area.
And we're going to be fishing a dry dropper combination. We can tell people more about it as we go. I know you're chawing at the bit because we've been waiting for the cameras to get set up, and he's been seeing trout out here already. So should we be casting or moving out?
Give a cast right there. I didn't see him come up in a second, but that's right where he was. There, settle.
Oh,
Pull it towards him. Pull it towards you. He'll come hit it. He might hit it again.
he came up and hit it right
There you
there,
go.
hooked up. It took me 2 casts to hook up. I don't know about this lake, if it's any good or not. Now, we're going to catch mostly cuts up here, right? But different species of cuts.
Right.
Now, how much tippet can I horse him? He's not real big, but I don't know how small a tippet we got on.
We got 6X, but he should be able to take that. Looks like a Yellowstone cut.
Oh, what a beautiful fish. I'll tell you what, folks, we're going to give you some close-ups to some of the most beautiful fish you've ever seen. This lake has a variety of cutthroats in it. That one's a Yellowstone.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see the colors on these fish, they're phenomenal. Of course, Kurt's been bragging about this place. It took me 2 casts to catch one, although I did get a strike on both casts. What a gorgeous fish. I mean, to come up in a setting like this, all alone, pristine area of Rocky Mountain National Park, and on the second cast, catch just a beautiful fish like this. Better let you get him back in the water. Looks like he wasn't going to let you revive him. He just wanted to go.
He's ready.
He's ready. Well, now that we got him, we saw him swimming there. So we were going to explain how we're going to fish, but I think we'll maybe take a minute now and tell the people just, we came up here on horseback as we told the people in the open. And this is one of the longer horseback trail rides you go on. This is about 7 or 8 miles. You also do horseback rides that are just 2 or 3 miles, and a lot of times come up here, stay overnight, so you have more fishing time. But the horsebacking is something. How long have you been doing the horseback, Kurt? Well, now, whatever you say, this might air next year, but it's been. I know we've been up with you before to do the llamas,
Right.
but you said the horseback riding has actually become even more popular.
It has. You can ride a horse.
And the llamas pack your gear. And we did a show with the llamas, and it was great because they hauled our gear up and everything, especially if you're going to go overnight and camp. But the horseback riding, you're right, this particular location, we're in Rocky Mountain National Park. This is a beautiful, we're about 10.5, 10.2, something like that. We're over 10,000 feet. And just a pristine, beautiful setting. We've got solitude. I know there's going to be some people who will hike up here and some other people who will come up, but I would think for the most part you're going to be up here alone.
Yeah, you will be most of the time.
Because most people would have trouble, unless you're really in shape, you're not going to make that hike up here.
Right.
7 miles to up to 10,000 feet is quite a jaunt for even if people who live in like Denver in the altitude. So the horseback gets them up here and they still got energy left to fish.
Right.
All right, so now should we just blind cast or should we wait and spot fish?
It's easier to spot them, but you can blind cast as they cruise along that dark line right there in the water where Laurie's fishing.
Okay,
And
so
then-
should we get out further or just
I think
cast?
so. Let's get your fly floating good again and let's get out there.
Now we talked when we caught that fish that there's numbers of different cutthroats in here, Kurt?
Yes, and there's also kind of crossbreeds of each of those cutthroats kind of.
And so what would be the different cutthroats you could find in here?
You got Yellowstone cuts, Snake River cuts, greenback cutthroats, and then there's also they used to have rainbows in the lake, so there's also some cut bow variations.
And then there's hybrids of all those different species
Right.
because they all spawn at the same time.
Right.
Is there a favorite, or is there one the colors get you more than another, or one that you prize more than the other? They're all so beautiful, the cutthroats.
I think the greenback's the prettiest, and then the Snake River gets the biggest up here. So the
Okay.
bigger size one, those are kind of the,
And that's what we
Ones
caught
we
the
get
first
excited.
time, and that was a nice fish for a high mountain lake.
yeah.
And we want to clue people in. We're up over 10,000 feet in Rocky Mountain National Park, and you don't come up here for giant fish. You come up here because of the experience of being here and beautiful fish and numbers and great ways to catch them. And that's really what it's about.
Right.
And to come up here on horseback and enjoy the view of Rocky Mountain National Park as we came up on horseback. And if you're comfortable, once you're on a horse for a while, you get comfortable anyway. And you can start looking around because the horse will follow the trail. He's with the other horses. And you can really look around and take advantage of the view, even more than when you're hiking almost. I mean, because you can sit there and you're not tired. And it's, well, you probably don't get tired. This guy hikes up and down all the time. Those Kurt's wife Lori's over there, and she's been getting more hits than us, but she hasn't landed a fish yet. But, so what times of the year do you do the horseback trips?
Pretty much the midsummer time, from mid-June through October.
Mid-June through October, and of course that's you're coming up in these high mountains. That's when the weather's going to be good. You start getting before or after that, you can get a snowstorm anytime.
Right.
Well, in fact, the snow probably isn't gone till mid-June.
Right.
And then you can get you can get one before that. But I mean, we're here. It's I think the 28th or 29th of September. So we're right at the end, but we've got a beautiful day. I mean, I'm in between taking my jacket off and leaving it on because it's so nice.
A little to the right of him. Perfect. You should see that. Set. Got him.
Hooked up. Fish on. That one took the dropper, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So we got one on the dry and one on the dropper. It's always fun here because we don't know what we got on. I mean, we know it's trout, we just don't know which one or what the colors are going to be like. And in this setting...
This is a good fish.
Oh, it is a good fish. This setting is all about the beauty, though. Nice. Well, for these kind of conditions... Oh, no, don't get in the line. He tried to make a fire drill out of it. I had a lot of line laying on the water. And what's that one?
This is more like a greenback. It's like a hybrid greenback with the Yellowstone.
Greenback?
Yeah.
I'm not that. I'll be perfectly honest with the folks. I'm not very good at telling the different types of cuts. You want to go and show the camera? Go ahead.
Sure.
I mean, folks, the sun's coming out here in a minute. We'll really get a look at it. These are just the most beautiful fish in the world. And we caught one on a dry and one on a dropper. What were the two flies we used?
We got a Parawolf Adams, size 18, trailing it with a crystal hunchback nymph, beadhead nymph, and about a 20.
Okay, so small flies.
Right.
And is that's pretty typical of these lakes, right?
It is. You can go fairly good size though too, but
well,
sometimes
the
they're
neat thing
picky.
about the cutthroats in these kind of lakes, they tend to be bug eaters because there isn't a lot else in these. You ever get tired of the beauty of Rocky Mountain National Park?
No.
I
I can never go anywhere else.
It's just an incredible place, isn't it? There's a reason they made this a national park.
Right.
Now, are there very many guides that can fish in the park? There's only a few that are permitted, is that right?
Right. You have to be permitted to be able to fish up here.
And you do, and you fish not only here, you fish here, both day trips, overnight trips, you fish pack trips. Did you have one or just go under?
I just went under, I think.
Pack trips with llamas, pack trip with horses, or horseback day trips, but you do a lot of just walk-wade trips too that are
Right.
closer, people don't want to take as long. And you also do some trips just down on the Big Thompson too.
Lots of areas to fish.
Oh, wonderful. We are in a beautiful, beautiful area.
There we go.
Fish on. All right.
Yeah, we'll fight to them.
Nice fish. They pull. I mean,
Yeah.
I was surprised for the size, how well they pull. But you know, they haven't been the tiny little cuts people
That's a
think
good
about
one
in
here.
Rocky Mountain National Park.
Right.
They've been nice sized cuts. The lake will do that for you, though, compared to the rivers where you get those. Remember when I
Right.
fished? They're beautiful and it's fun. That little pocket water fishing in the rivers. But you're always going to get a little bigger fish in the lake almost. Look how dark it is.
Yeah.
Want me to land it or?
You can grab the net if you want.
Did you see what it was? The darker one.
It looks like a greenback since it's darker like that.
Yeah.
It's a good greenback.
Oh wow, that's nice. A greenback is the only native trout to Colorado.
Right.
Well, you know, the other thing is we're fishing with 3-weight rods and light tippet, and so you can't horse it, and you do that on purpose. You match your gear to where you're fishing. Oh, that's a nice one.
That's a good fish.
That's a nice fish. It almost looks like a cut bow, doesn't it?
No, I think he's all cut.
He's all cut. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a greenback. Well, that's a beauty.
Yeah, that's a good one there.
You know, that's a nice fish anywhere, much less at 10,000 feet in a high mountain lake. I tell you what, I'm going to let you turn and really get a show that one to the camera, because that's a beautiful fish.
show you.
What a beautiful fish. Look at that. I'll tell you what, folks, there's nothing wrong with that fish anywhere. We travel the world. In all honesty, Kurt, I didn't expect to catch fish that big up here. I was thinking about
That's a
half
good one.
that size. I was thinking about, I mean, all the fish we've caught have been really nice.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you said high mountains, Rocky Mountain, cutthroats, the Rocky Mountain National Park.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I was thinking fish that were probably half that size or smaller, you know, the pocket water
Right.
fish, and then maybe a few a little bigger because of the lake. I'm impressed. Is that, are some of those typical of what you get up here?
That's one of that's on the bigger size, but you will get, should be able to get a couple more like that.
That's awesome.
Do you want me to come net them?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll hold the rod.
I just broke off that one fly there. It was bad. Is it? Oh, it looks like a cup boat here, yeah. Yeah. You took your dropper?
Yeah. A copper beat a pheasant tail? Oh. This is a cutboat, so it's a cross between a cutboat and a rainbow. Yeah. Woo! Gee. He's really pretty. He's actually really dark. Very purple. His pink fins.
You see Kirk's wife, Laurie, up there on a rock. The water was getting a little cold, and she asked Kirk to get her jacket. So then when he's gone getting the jacket, she went up in the rock and got warm. But if you look right above the top of the rock she's on, you see that bluish white up there. That's actually a glacier up here in the mountains in Rocky Mountain National Park. So come up here. You can, you don't have to go to Alaska to see the glaciers. Come up here. We've seen deer. Down lower in the park this time of the year, there'll be more elk than you can count. Wild animals, and just great trout fishing all through this park. Rocky Mountain National Park is one of the true gems of North America, and one of the treasures here in Colorado that we really look forward to. We just really enjoy. We just have such a tremendous resource here. Laurie, we're getting ready to move to another spot to fish, and Laurie climbed up on the rock. We're waiting for the cameras are put away so she catches a fish, so we had to unpack the cameras. What is it, Laurie? Cutbow. Off the rock though. She got on the rock. She said she got on the rock to catch big fish that were on the other side, but she really got it to get out of the water because she was cold. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. You'll never catch a fish in a prettier setting. You know, when you say a lot more women are coming into trips, and not only couples, but groups of women and single women. Mm-hmm. So do you think a lot of them like the fact that, you know, because you guide, that they can get a woman as a guide?
You know, I think so. A lot of the women that come in have either seen our commercial, you know, on the local channel in town, or, you know, their husbands that come in for fly fishing trips and they tell their wives, you know, oh, well, you can get a women guide. So yes, I think so. You know, I think they're more comfortable with, you know, having a woman, and I think it takes out a little bit of the intimidation factor of getting started into the sport. So
I know women are such a huge sector of the outdoors now, and they're growing more and more and more.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think so. It's you know.
What is a favorite trip for women, or isn't there one? Is it diversified just like the men?
It's diversified. You know, there's women that come in that really want to go on a hike and, you know, want to get away from everybody. There's some women that, you know, completely don't want to do a hike.
And some, I
It's
suppose,
the
come in, they
same.
just want to learn about fly fishing, and they
Well, exactly.
and they just want to go someplace easy and where they can
Mhm.
get some basics. And
You know, and honestly, you know, most of them want to learn fly fishing. I have had some women come in and say that they want to learn how to fly fish because they think it's a great way to meet men.
well, I'm
So there's a little bit of everything, I think.
don't lose it. Laurie's got a fish on. It's time to go home, and Laurie had to catch the last fish. I'm going to go out and stand by Kirk while we land it. And Laurie can lord over us while we tell you about it. There we go. What is that?
Actually, looks like a snake river cut, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Not a snake river, it looks like a greenback.
A lot of little spots.
Yeah. Kind of a hybrid looking one, isn't it?
Here. I know
Sit
it's her
right-
fish, but let me see it. I'm going to hold your fish.
It's okay.
Cutthroat trout, Rocky Mountain National Park, horseback riding, a beautiful day in September. And there it goes. It'll be here for you next time. What a day, guys. Pretty awesome. Last fish of the day.
Thanks, Terry.
Kirk, thank you so much. I tell you what, you want to have a great experience, you know, whatever type of fishing, fly fishing you'd like to do, if you're in the Colorado area, whether you live here or you're on business, we'll put Kirk's Fly Shop information up right here on the screen. And we'll have it again in the credits, but I'll tell you what, you do llama trips up in Rocky Mountain National Park, you do wade fly fishing trips all year long, horseback trips from through the middle of the summer into the fall, early fall. And the horseback trips like we took today could be, they can be overnight. This really should be an overnight because we only had a couple hours to fish, or they can be shorter horseback rides and longer fishing for a day trip, hiking trips, or if you just want to meet some really great people when you're through Estes Park, stop and see Kirk and Laurie. But get up here and enjoy the majesty that's Rocky Mountain National Park. Let them guide you, have a good time, and join us next week on Angling Adventures.